Meeple Nation podcast. Bonus episode. Deck, bag, and pool building games Showdown. Finish him. There it is.
Welcome, citizens, to Meeple Nation. Grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, warm up those dice, and join us at the game table as we discuss board games and the board gaming world. Each week, the hosts of Meeple Nation share their love for board games and the amazing memories that come from playing games with some very outstanding people. Let us now join our hosts in their natural habitat, the game table.
I need to come up with some better line. Sure you depa. Oh, you can. Tatsumaki Sabukaku.
Go get him.
It's a Showdown episode. Yay.
Yeah.
Meeple Nation podcast is sponsored by GameToppersLLC.com. Go to their website, check them out. They have some amazing product. You will not be disappointed. Upgrade your game night by visiting GameToppersLLC.com.
Welcome to the Meeple Nation podcast. We are your hosts. I am Douglas Stewart.
I am Nathan Howard.
And I am Andy Holiday.
Yay! And
With
we have a
our powers combined, we will have a showdown.
And also a website, meeplenation.com. Go check it out. You can view some blogs, learn a little bit more about us, click on the Patreon link.
To get more content like this.
100%. We would also love it if you would email us at meeplenation@gmail.com. I'm ready to fight.
Let's get it on. Let's get it on.
I am ready to
Are you
fight.
ready?
Okay, so once again, we'll give you the quick version of how this happens. We did our top 5 deck, bag, and pool building games list episode. So now we've thrown all of those into PubMeeple, where we're going to have a little showdown, decide what is the definitive Meeple Nation top 5 in this particular category. So we've thrown them all in here. There was one crossover. There was one crossover with After Us. So 14 games will enter the arena, and in alphabetical order, they are After Us, Altiplano, Clank in Space, Dice Forge, Dune Imperium, Etherfields, Heat Pedal to the Metal, Revive, Star Wars the Deck Building Game, The Quacks of Quedlinburg, The Taverns of Tiefenthal, Thunderstone/Thunderstone Quest. I'm just going to refer to it as Thunderstone from here on out. Undaunted, Stalingrad is what I have in here, but you can pick your flavor. And Wonderland's War.
I'm interested. This is going to be an interesting turnout. Some of mine are definitely not going to be at the top.
I feel the same.
These are all great games, though.
Yes.
And they usually are with this, but there's usually like a couple that I'm like, I'd maybe kick that one off, or I'd kick one or two of these off.
Why do you keep looking at me?
I wouldn't kick any. No reason. I wouldn't kick any of these off. These are all really solid. All right, we're going to click the rank button. It says you are about to rank 14 items. This will take an estimated 30 comparisons. So here we go. Comparison number 1, Taverns of Tiefenthal versus Dune Imperium.
So easy. For
Yes,
me.
it is.
Taverns of Tiefenthal.
For you.
Dune Imperium.
Dune Imperium for me as well.
Oh, and I love Tiefenthal. I even said it right that time.
You did.
Wow, way to go. I'm
But
impressed.
yeah, Dune Imperium is always going to be my cup of tea over my cup of beer.
I think the deck building's more strong in taverns anyway. It's kind of
You know, you actually are probably right. I'm going to totally agree with you that I think it is more strong in taverns, but I'm still going to play Dune.
I would still rather play Dune as well. All right, next up we've got Revive versus the Quacks of Quedlinburg.
That's a tough one because I really, really like Quacks.
I do too.
That is totally going to be Revive for me.
Yeah, I like Quacks too, but it will be Revive for me as well.
I like Quacks because it's quick, right? You can
Yeah.
just go to it. It's easy to teach. It's very accessible. Revive, I don't think was overly complicated, but
It's got a lot of meat on the bone.
there's a lot on your plate
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I'm going to say Revive as well.
All right, unanimously, it passes. Next up, we've got After Us versus Dice Forge.
Dice Forge.
I'm going to say Dice Forge too.
Really?
Yeah, I just love how quick Dice Forge is.
Huh.
It's going back to that same thing with Quacks and whatever else I was comparing it to.
I like Dice Forge just fine, but yeah, it would be After Us for me. Dice Forge will take it. Next up, we've got Clank in Space versus Undaunted.
Clank in Space.
Now, I'm conflicted here because I really want to play Undaunted more, but it's totally going to be Clank in Space.
Okay, I would pick Undaunted, but Yeah, Clank. I mean, I'm assuming Clink in Space plays very much like the other Clink games, just with a different theme.
Yeah,
so I think I have
awesome
a pretty
theme.
good idea of how that plays. I'd still rather play Undaunted. So you're both Clink in Space.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Clink in Space takes it. Next up, we've got Altiplano versus Etherfields. Oh man, wowza.
I'm doing Etherfields on this one.
There's no oh man there.
It's Etherfields. No, it's definitely Etherfields, but I really do have a soft spot for Altiplano.
And
I want to play it a lot more. I really do.
Yeah, I would like to play it again too with some upgraded components like you guys talked about last time. But given the chance, it's totally going to be Etherfield.
Okay,
Far
Etherfields will
more
take
appealing.
it unanimously. Next up, we've got Thunderstone versus Star Wars: The Deck Building Game.
Thunderstone for me.
You know, it's funny. I'm going to keep dropping my top 5.
I've done it
Apparently, I
several
liked
times
your,
too.
your lists better.
Yeah.
I've done it too. I've dropped a couple of mine.
So this is what I'm torn on with this one is just because my experience with Thunderstone has been playing Thunderstone Quest, which is a really great deck builder, but it takes a lot longer to play.
It does.
Versus Star Wars, which is relatively quick. And you get like a little bit more of a pure burst of deck building with Star Wars, but you have that sort of long fantasy themed almost. It's not. I mean, well, Thunderstone Quest is a campaign.
It is.
And
You got to look at
dungeon crawl.
You've been playing with max player count, which I don't think is ideal for Thunderstone Quest.
Yeah, that's true.
So perfect player count, 2 or 3 people, in my opinion, for Thunderstone Quest. It's going to be a lot faster and it's not going to take near as long as it has.
Interesting.
So I think it definitely will take longer than Star Wars, but it's still pretty snappy and doesn't take a lot of time in between turns.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm debating here, and I think I'm going to end up saying Star Wars.
Ooh, that does make it a little hard because I thought you were both going to go Thunderstone. So you're saying Star Wars. Andy, you're saying Thunderstone.
That is correct.
I think if both of these were set up on the table right now and I had a choice between the two, I would probably go to Thunderstone, especially if, like you're saying, it had the right player count. So Thunderstone it is. Next up, we've got Dune Imperium versus Wonderland's War. This would be Wonderland's War for me.
As for me,
I would really like to play Wonderland's War, since that's one I haven't played.
I keep forgetting you haven't played that.
Given that these are both at the table, I'm totally going to Wonderland's War because I haven't played it.
Okay. Wonderland's War takes it. Next up, we've got Dice Forge versus Revive.
wow,
Revive.
Yeah, that's a Revive choice for me too.
I think that's Revive for me as well.
Awesome. Next up, Dice Forge versus the Quacks of Quedlinburg.
It's going to be Quacks for me. I really like both of these, though.
they're so close,
Yeah.
so close.
It's kind of interesting because I don't know if I could put my finger on it, but both of these sort of exist in the same brain space
They really do.
Yeah.
in an interesting way. I'm having a hard time picking between these two.
I would say if we're playing with the Alchemist expansion, I'd go with Quacks, which we probably would if we played it right now. So I'm going to say Quacks.
Okay, I buy that. I think it's Quacks for me too. I like Dice Forge a lot, but I think it's Quacks for me.
Yep.
Okay, Quacks takes it. Next, Clank in Space versus Heat Pedal to the Metal.
Clank in Space for me.
Yep. Clink in Space for me. I thought about it for a second. Do I rearrange my top 5? And nope. Clink it is.
Okay, my vote would have been Heat, but Clank advances. Next is going to be Undaunted versus Heat. And that would be Undaunted for me.
Undaunted for me as well.
You know, I actually think I want to experience Undaunted more than I do Heat currently.
All right.
So Undaunted
Is it
for me
because
as
of all
well.
the spin outs?
It could be from my most recent game. Yeah, there was a lot of, I can't believe you lost so bad. Here, take this.
All right, next up is Thunderstone versus Etherfields.
Oh, that's a tough one. You know what? If they were both at the table right now, I'd say Etherfields.
Yeah, I think I'd say Etherfields
I
too.
really want to play it again.
I think I would go, I don't know. I really like the art in Etherfields, but there's still some little catches on it that kind of just makes me want to, I want to play it, but I have a bit of a hesitation. I got hurt. I'm going to back out and say
Thunderstone?
Yeah, thank you. I forgot what the other
Thunderstone,
game was.
okay.
Whatever
So,
it was.
Two
besides Etherfields.
two Etherfields versus one Thunderstone. Okay, so Etherfields is going to take that one. So next up, we're going to go Thunderstone versus Altiplano.
Thunderstone.
See, and I'm really the odd man out. That's interesting. Super odd man out, actually. More, I think, than any of the other bonus episode showdowns we've done, because I'd be Altiplano on this one.
Apparently, I need to try that again because I just don't really.
It's a great game.
It's great.
It really is.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, Thunderstone, we'll take it though. Next is going to be Altiplano versus Star Wars: The Deck Building Game.
Altiplano.
Star Wars: The Deck Building Game.
All right, yes, my voice.
Your voice
Coming
matters.
through. Altiplano for me.
Oh,
Yeah, Altiplano is, in my opinion, it is a better game, and I love the Star Wars Deck Building game.
I don't like your voice.
Okay, well,
I don't like your
wow,
Wow. I liked your voice right then, Doug.
interesting.
Give me a second. It might change.
Just gonna rage quit. Well, that's the end of this bonus episode.
That's it.
All right, next up we've got Revive versus Wonderland's War.
Revive.
See, now I'm stuck. If they're both sitting there, I would go to Wonderland's War because I haven't played it.
Revive is.
I really enjoy Revive, and I'm anxious to play Revive.
Yeah,
But I'm going to go to Wonderland's War.
I haven't played the expansion, and I really want to.
The expansion is so good.
it is good. This is a hard one for me. I'm gonna go with Revive. It is gonna be Revive. Quacks of Quedlinburg versus Wonderland's War.
Wonderland's War.
Quacks of Quedlinburg.
And Wonderland's War for me. So woo, I'm getting a little redemption here in the mid list game here. All right, next up we got Quacks of Quedlinburg versus Dune Imperium.
I think I'm going to go. It must be because I'm tired right now.
But Quacks is sounding gets so
Quack
good.
sounds so much more appealing because I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I have to think hard and Dune. Yeah, no, it's probably gonna be Dune.
Oh, okay.
After all that,
It's
gonna be Dune.
okay. Where were you at, Andy?
I don't know. I'm debating.
Yeah, this is another hard one for me.
It is for me too. Once again, if we were playing with the Alchemist expansion, I would probably right now. I mean, they're really close. I would probably pick Quacks.
Well, it's your mind. We can be playing with whatever expansion you want.
Oh, thanks, Nathan.
You're welcome.
Mind is set. Yep. There we go. Quacks. Thanks,
Man.
Nathan, for that.
Yep, that's what I'm here for. Oh wait, you disagreed with me.
Thanks for helping me, Nathan.
I recently had a chance to play this with a friend when I took a trip down to Arizona, and they pulled it out and we played it, and it just kind of revived my love for Quacks, and so I'm really struggling. And then given that I think I kind of liked Uprising over Dune Imperium, and so it's kind of hard because I think what I want to do is say Dune Imperium, but because of recent experiences with Quacks and with Uprising, I think I'm leaning more toward Quacks. So I think it's going to be Quacks for me.
All right.
Quacks is going to take it.
Wait, I said Dune, didn't I?
That's okay. You can be
I'm
on
still
team,
in debate.
be on team Quacks. That's
yeah,
okay.
that's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
I
Nathan.
didn't vote for it, but yes.
Yeah. All right. Dice Forge versus Dune Imperium.
Wow.
That's gonna be Dune for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be Dune for me.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll relent. Dune. It was close.
It's Dune.
I was on the fence. I got pushed over to one side.
All right. Next up is Dice Forge versus Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Taverns of Tiefenthal.
You know, I really do enjoy Taverns of Tiefenthal,
It's so amazing.
but I'm gonna say Dice Forge. Not trying to put taverns down. I do very much enjoy it, but
You know, I really do love Dice Forge. It's a great game. It's awesome.
And that's what he's voting for.
So I'm gonna say the Taverns of Tiefenthal.
yeah, allowed.
All right, that's 2 for Taverns. It will take it. Next up is Etherfields versus Clank in Space.
Clank in Space.
Etherfields for me.
Etherfields for me too.
Oh,
Next up is Thunderstone versus Clank in Space.
Clank in Space.
Thunderstone.
Crickets.
There are some space crickets in Thunderstone or Clank in Space.
Having only played Thunderstone many years ago and having not played Clank in Space at all, I think if these two are both set up at the table, ideal player count, which one of these would I want to? I'd either want to go back to Thunderstone Quest or play Clank in Space for the first time. I think I'd want to try Clank in Space, knowing what I know about the other Clank games. I think it's Clank. I think it is Clank in Space for
Because
me.
you like fun games.
Yeah, all of these fall into that
Yeah,
category.
that's true.
That's true. These are all fun. Thunderstone versus Undaunted.
I'm going to say Undaunted.
Thunderstone for me.
And Undaunted for me. Thunderstone versus Heat. Pedal to the metal.
Thunderstone.
Wow, that's amazing.
Dave.
What's interesting though, like so you really do have a great like for Thunderstone.
I love Thunderstone.
Andy
Yeah.
loves fantasy.
I do.
Yeah, I guess I get that. I've played quite a bit of Heat. I'd really like to try some of
I
the
would too.
circuit stuff.
Very much so. I wonder if we can do that on BGA.
So I guess if Andy can set the parameters where it's like he's saying like, well, we're playing with these expansions and doing all this.
Well, it's your head.
If I could say we're playing Heat and we're doing circuit mode and adding all the extra bonus cards and everything like that in there, then I'd probably say Heat.
But what if it sucks?
Then the next time we do this list, I'll say Thunderstone.
What if it sucks? What if your brain sucks?
All right, Heat's going to take it over Thunderstone. Next up, we've got Aetherfields versus Revive. That's a hard one.
Is it?
Yeah, that one is hard.
Okay.
I'm still going to go with Aetherfields, but that's
I'm
hard.
still going to go with Revive, even though I didn't say it.
Boy, that is a tough one. Because I really want to play Revive again, but I also really want to play Aetherfields. Well, since I've had Aetherfields sitting on my table, waiting to be played, like halfway set up for a year and a half now, we'll say Aetherfields.
All right. Aetherfields will take it. Next up, Clank in Space versus Revive.
Revive.
Yeah, that'll be Revive for me.
That's going to be Revive.
Next up is Clank in Space versus Wonderland's War.
Ah, you serious?
Wonderland's War for me.
My game's quickly going. Boo, 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 boo. Shut down. Wonderland's
It got
War.
voted up quite a bit too, though. So, yeah, it'll be Wonderland's War for me. Clank in Space versus the Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Oh, it's really trying to find out where it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. The
Quacks
algorithm's struggling.
Quacks for me.
Okay, Quacks. I think between these two, it'd be Quacks for me too. I think I like Quacks more than the other Clank games. Although, but at the same time, it is difficult because Clank Legacy remains like the best Legacy deck building game experience I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to restarting that.
Me too.
So it's tough, but Quacks for me. That sounds like Quacks for Andy.
Yeah, Quacks for me.
Sounds like it doesn't matter to me.
It does matter, Nathan.
It does
What-
matter.
What would you say?
I would say Clank
Medici?
in Space. Medici, yes.
Medici.
Maracaibo?
Maracaibo.
Maracaibo is an awesome game. Clank in Space versus Dune Imperium.
Clank in Space.
Dune.
Yeah, I figured. And I know you're going to say, Doug.
Do you? Do you know what I'm going to say?
Pretty darn sure.
All right, Dune takes it.
Yep.
Clank in Space versus Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Why
Taverns
is
of-
everybody beating on my Clank of Space?
Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Clank in Space.
Yeah.
Didn't we
Ooh.
already have this one?
No.
See, the thing is, I don't have the same love for Taverns that Andy does, though. So this one is tough for me.
But you don't have the same love for Clank in Space that Nathan does either.
That's
so-
true. No, I don't.
So this
You're
is
right.
a tough one for him.
Yeah.
But okay, so
Clearly,
if we-
he cannot choose the one in front of him.
Truly, you have a dizzying intellect. So right now, if both of these were set up at the table, given that I haven't played Clank in Space and I'd like to try it, and I have played Taverns, I'd actually probably go with Clank.
Sold.
We got to play this game so that it stops getting voted up for that reason.
It's going to get voted up more.
Next up is Undaunted versus the Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Taverns.
I do like taverns, but I'm so saying Undaunted.
All you have to do is say, I do like Taverns. I know you're going to vote it down.
I know you're going to vote it down.
Well, my vote is also for Undaunted, so that will pass. Next, we've got Heat Pedal to the Metal versus Taverns.
Taverns.
I know I like, or I can't even remember what I said. I do like taverns.
It would be Heat for me, especially if we can play with all the circuit stuff. Next up is Thunderstone versus Taverns.
Taverns again.
This is going to be taverns for me.
Okay, Taverns will take it. Thunderstone versus Dice Forge.
Dice Forge.
Thunderstone.
Dang it, stop it. I like the beginning half of this list where my voice didn't count. I don't like being the tiebreaker. Thunderstone versus Dice Forge. Yeah, I think Thunderstone right now. That's the one I'd want to
Such
try
a-
more
such a good
of
game.
him.
All right.
Altiplano versus Dice Forge.
Dice Forge.
That's
Without
Altiplano for me.
Right now, Dice Forge was higher on my list, but right now, I think I'd actually rather play Altiplano. So I'm
All
gonna
this
say
talk
Altiplano.
about Altiplano has picked it up on your list.
It kind of has.
It's kind of funny how that works,
It
right?
does, yeah.
I mean, I had my top 5, and then now this week I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's a living list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Star Wars,
Sometimes it talks back.
the deck building game.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Star Wars, the deck building game versus Dice Forge.
Dice Forge.
Star Wars, the deck building game. That's a tough one, though, because they're both quick. They're both fun. I mean, they're all fun.
I think it's Star Wars for me too.
Yes.
And that's it.
All right.
that will close out the list. So,
I have no idea on any of these.
well, in a shock of all shocks,
After Us
which
is last.
Genuinely does surprise me, is the After Us is number 14.
Yeah, that does. Actually, I don't even remember it coming up.
It did.
I mean, it came up a couple of times.
It came up a couple times, but then
just
everything that beat it got beat.
Yeah.
So it bumped it right to the end of the
bottom.
list. Yep. So After Us, which is a fantastic game, and I don't think should be at the bottom of this list, but that's okay. After Us is number 14. The next number 13 is Dice Forge.
What? I
Wow.
bumped that up a lot. I
Mm,
think your Meeple Hub is.
PubMeeple.
do you want to write them a letter about their
I do.
algorithm?
Yeah, their
Okay.
algorithm sucks.
All
They
right,
keep
throw
going
these
in
results
Doug's
out.
favor.
We're starting over. Anyway,
Anyway,
14 was After Us, 13 was Dice Forge, 12 was Star Wars the deck building game.
no way. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
totally writing him a letter now.
Strongly worded.
Yes. I'm going to get Google AI to word it for me.
Wow, that's gonna go really well. You let me know how that goes for you. Number 11 was Altiplano.
That should have been.
Wow, that
14.
surprises me. Was that high up? It seems like we voted that up a lot.
Yep. All right, and then the top 10, we start with number 10 was Thunderstone Quest, or Thunderstone / Thunderstone Quest.
All right.
And then number 9, Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Okay.
I thought that'd be up a little higher.
I did too.
Number 8, Heat, Pedal to the Metal. Number 7, Undaunted. And number 6, Clank in Space.
You guys stink at making top fives.
I don't know. I think I've decided that on my next list, I just need to put a bunch of games that none of you have played, so you vote them up.
Interesting strategy. Interesting. You're gonna gamify the top, even though all of these games are amazing and we're on our top fives. Like,
I got to do what I can.
I got to do what I can to get mine to number 1. All right, so that will take us into the top 5. Number 5 was Dune Imperium. That actually does surprise me. I thought that one went down a little bit further.
Should have been down.
That's interesting. And then number 4 was The Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Wow. Really? That surprises me too that it was that high up, but we did vote that up a lot.
Yeah, and Quacks is great. Also, it's late and we're all in the mood to play a simpler
Could
game.
be, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we nailed it when we were talking about that earlier. Number 3, Wonderland's War. I like it.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'll definitely allow it. Number 2, Revive. Definitely
Yeah.
allowed. And number 1,
No surprise.
no surprise, Etherfields.
This is all about Doug's top 5.
Apparently, which honestly, at the beginning of making this list, that I would not have suspected that. I was getting voted down, and I thought we were going in a totally different direction. And then it kind of about-faced about midway through the list.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Interesting.
All right.
I mean, I'm only one of 3, so
And the victor is
your voices counted.
It did when it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I like that. Etherfields is number 1. That means we're more likely to get it out. Hopefully.
I hope
Play it
Hopefully.
soon.
Yeah, I would like to
That'd be
get
really
it
good.
up for sure.
Okay. And
Awesome.
that, as they say, is that.
He's down for the count.
Finish him.
He was finished.
He was definitely done.
Yeah, it was After Us.
It was after us.
We stuck the fork in it and it came out clean.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was definitely
It was
done.
definitely all done.
Well, on that note, until next time.
There's nothing left but cleaning the mat and starting it over for next time as we get to a new showdown at the game table.
Thank you for listening and being a part of Meeple Nation. If you would be so kind as to follow, subscribe, share, and rate or review this podcast, it really helps to spread the fun. You can be more involved in supporting the podcast by joining the nation at patreon.com/Meeple Nation, or you can find a link at the top of our webpage, meeplenation.com. And while you're there, look at all our extra content. There are links to all our past episodes, a wide variety of blogs, pictures from our Instagram feed, and bios for all the hosts and our awesome bloggers. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all under Meeple Nation. If you would like to chat with the hosts or other members of the nation, you can join our Facebook group, Meeple Nation Off Air. We hope to see you again at a game night, a con, or maybe a suspense-driven evening of werewolf. Thank you for listening and supporting Meeple Nation, and stay tuned for next week's episode.
Thank you so much for listening. We very much want to thank our patrons who help keep the podcast running. I personally want to thank my co-hosts for all the help they provide with both content here on the podcast, in addition to what we have available on our website. Without them, the podcast would not happen. If you too would like to support the podcast, you can join the nation at patreon.com/Meeple_Nation. Or you can find a link to Patreon at the top of our webpage, meeplenation.com. If you have any questions, comments, or games you feel should be on our radar, you can always reach us at meeplenation@gmail.com. We can't wait to hear from you. I am grateful to Doug and Andy who helped me edit episodes, and I want to thank James and Kim Clark who do the editing on our blogs and on our webpage, which can be found at meeplenation.com. We want to thank Brain Detergent for our music. If you want to find more from him, you can follow his links that can be found on our webpage, or simply search for Brain Detergent on YouTube to find more of his tracks. Thank you again for listening and being part of the Meeple Nation community.